Well, hello, welcome to Beginners Woodcarvers. I'm about to go live. No, I'm not about to go live, I am going live. And you'll notice this week there's no camera stuff, so I think we should be good. I'll get that in focus so that people can see it, and not a problem. Okay then, what are we going to be talking about this week? Well, I haven't got a bloody clue. I do know that I've been asked a question about how to sharpen gouges, which I will instruct people, I suppose. Hello. I will instruct, I'll use my gouge and my slip strop, and I guess I will show that. I'm not overly prepared. I've been busy this morning, so it's going to be a more of a waffle. G'day, Tammy. Sorry I haven't read your messages yet. I've been busy. How's the what time zone are you in? We're in it's 10:30 in the morning on Saturday. G'day Maggie, g'day Bonnie, g'day Steve. Okay, so and g'day Carl. A whole lot of people turning up, and this is going to be more a matter of g'day Brett. This is going to be more a matter of a two-way conversation this week, something that's slightly different. Blaze said that she might make an appearance, but it's not here. Oh, you made an owl video, you think you completely stuffed it up. Okay. G'day David. So you made an owl video, you think you completely stuffed it up. How do you think you completely stuffed it up? Too long, maybe. Sorry for the smoking, but we all know I do it, so yeah, I'm not going to hide it. Oh, there was a little bit of a camera. The camera's fixed. Look at this. I can go right back here and all the way up here, and the camera doesn't track me. What a bonus. Oh, that's right. I've got to scroll. I forgot. Oh, g'day, Corey. You having a good morning? I'm doing better now that I've got a little carving today. Oh, I'm sad to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear of your loss. G'day, Shirley. Shirley, now that's a name in Australia that's synonymous with ladies. Bruce is male and Shirley is ladies. just thought I'd throw that piece of useless information in there. Why not? Okay, I read somewhere that Corey had a question for me about sharpening gouges. And as you're here, Corey, let's do that one now. Because I slip, okay, a gouge, normal, regular gouge, okay, let's do the flex cut one, okay, let's change that over, okay. Excuse me a minute while I find the, where is it, there it is, right in front of me. Aha. Okay, so Corey, let's pan down, let's just make sure. G'day Sue, who else we got? G'day John, g'day Mandy, g'day Tina. Okay, so having one of these, so give it some of your polish. Then when you are sharpening a gouge, Corey, let's have a look. You roll the gouge on the flat on the angle of the bevel. So where you've got the shiny part, you roll that from side to side, and you do that 15-20 times. Then with one of these you've got the other profile, which is the other side, so you find the one that best fits, which is on this one, it's that one there. So you rub a little bit of the compound on it, as you can see, rub compound, that's the on the yellow one. And then you just, by scraping it down and round, with a slight roll, because it's not quite the right size, you roll it like that. And a bit more on that side. With the roll, keeping that angle the same every time. And then that is how to sharpen my gouge. There is a video that is on YouTube, and I believe I can find it for you. I'll link you, Corey, to a YouTube video that shows you the same thing, but he talks about it a little bit more, a little better than I do. Okay, so that's easy. Okay, thanks, Tammy. You've already put it up. Link to stropping gouges. G'day, Cindy. G'day, John. You made it. Where can I get one of those? What, the slip strop comes from FlexCut. If you're talking about that, Bonnie, you get them from FlexCut. You'll find it on Amazon. It'll more than likely be cheaper on Amazon than it is from FlexCut direct. But I think that they're in the States. I think they're around about the $20. I paid $30 for it here, Australian money. But I found that everybody has one, and they're a very handy one to have. The only thing I dislike about it is the distance of this. When I'm doing a knife, it's very easy to slip off because it's so short. I would suggest that you stick some leather to a longer piece of wood so that you can get a nice long stropping motion on it. I do have one somewhere that I made. There it is. And all I did was I stuck a piece of leather on a piece of wood. So that's the strop I use for my knives, because it's longer, and I get a better finish off my knives using that one. Now let's just make sure I don't leave things. Oops, leave things where, oh, that one pulled out, where they can fall off and be sitting around on the table bench, so I can cut myself. And let's scroll. Can you get too much compound over time, and if so, how do you clean it? Okay, yes, you can build up too much compound on it. Usually you use the back side of a knife. Let's show you. Let's do it on that one. Okay, on that one I've got a bit of a build up of the stropping compound. So what I would do is, with the back side of the knife, you can scrape with the back side of your knife, and it will clear the compound off. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the bottom. You can see bits of the compound that is scraped off, and that's all you do. You just use the back side of your knife. Okay, you paid 15. Wicked. That much better price than I paid. I get treated. I have to pay Australian prices, and of course there is shipping involved, and they do sting us. But yes, $15 from Amazon. It's called a slip strop, and when you buy it, you get the compound comes with it in a little package. There you go. That's what it looks like. So it gives you the piece of wood with the shapes on it, and it also gives you a bar of the compound. The compounds, I think, is quite expensive. If you buy it from FlexCut direct, it's about $17 for the compound, whereas if you buy one of those and you pay $15 for the whole thing, well, that's the way to go. Buying things in small parts is like if you bought a car in bits, it would cost you an absolute fortune. G'day, Ned. Okay, any questions from you guys, as it's not really a setup this week where I'm discussing anything in particular? Have you got any questions? What are you guys doing? What are you making? Can you get compound fairly cheap at Harbour Freight? Oh, you can get compound fairly cheap. That's where they have the different colours ones, isn't it? It's like you've got white, red, green, yellow, I think it is, and each one of them has different thicknesses, or different the sharpness of the added aggregates, the abrasives. They have slightly different abrasives. I think the red one is for the red one. I think is for jewellery. Okay, so okay, you're popping in and out, Tina. Glad you showed me I was doing it like my knife. So thanks, Cole, and you. Good job showing how to do it. Something I like learning from you. Hope don't mind. I ask you to show. No, Corey. Like every week, almost you come up with a question, and that's part of what I'm here for. If I can answer your question, then I'm happy. You're happy, and anybody else sees it also is happy. So keep asking your questions, Corey. I love them. How often do you add compound to the strop? To your strop, or know when to add more? Okay. I generally tend to look at the amount of compound that's actually on the that's on the strop, on the leather, and I don't add every time. I add probably every other time. I sometimes strop a little bit and then I'll add some, and then strop a bit more. I've had that bar, I've had the yellow bar of compound for probably about 6 months, and it's barely deformed. So it lasts a while, but I haven't actually used that much of it, and yet my strops still come up. I do notice when the color changes, because the color change, of course, is a little piece of metal, little bits of metal being mixed into it. That's why it goes black. Okay, it's $8. Cool. That's good. Your strop came with green. I've got some green. Okay, John, you're still working on your chest set. Oh, ting! Where's that go? When I got my Flex, oh no, when I got my Beavercraft, there you go. See, I haven't even taken it out of the packaging. But that one came with some green compound, which I haven't used, but I will stick that piece of leather on a piece of MDF at some point, so that I'll give the green one a try. It's actually a bit dry and it's broken. The wax has obviously got it's got a bit dry and a bit hard, but I've still got that one to go. I haven't used that one yet because I've got the other ones that I use. But yes, that's got green compound and not yellow, so I'll have to give the green one a try. I have seen some people have made. Oh, cool. Shirley's got that one. Yes, I have seen some people make up different stropping patches, so they've got the different compounds so that they can go through the scales of compound. Quite a good thing, but a lot of that comes down to some of the precision that we do. It depends on what you're carving, depends on I guess how much you would do that. I like John Overby's sharpening video. I find that is very handy. I also heard somebody ages ago say that if your knife needs a sharpen, every now and again, not every time, but occasionally, it's very good to use the wet and dry sandpaper and a very like 800 or 1000 or 1200, and it's scary sharp. When you sharpen that, it takes off whatever dulling of the edge of the blade that you've had from stropping, because there is a certain amount of the leather pops up at the end of when you're running your knife over the top of it. The leather is like shag pile carpet. It's popping back up, and that hits your blade. Interesting read on the science of that. I like that, and they were looking at the microscopic scratches by different sharpening methods, and you can see why when you strop, you're kind of making like a very, very microscopic saw blade. It's got like grooves. That happens. Brilliant write-up. I'll see if I can find it afterwards. Carved a little dish today, 2.5 inches wide by 5 inches long, dug out from a piece of wood, then glued them together and make it look like one piece of wood. Excellent. There's nothing wrong with carving something, gluing it up and carving. I built this one here. This one I built up and carved back, built up and carved back, whereas these ones were from solid piece of wood. But this one I actually made by blocking up. Very useful technique. It works. Whatever works, as far as I'm concerned. I have a strop that comes with 3 compound: red, white, and green. Red is superfine, white is ultrafine, and green is microfine. Varies with makers. Yes, that's true. There's lots of different abrasives. Hello, Ness. Yay, she joined. Only a few days into the Beavercraft. Oh, that's right. We've got 8 days left. So get your entries into our competition, and the answers will come out of this hat. The winners are going to be put into the hat and pulled out, so anyone can win. Very, very fair way of doing it. Could use a computer random generator, but instead I'm going to go old school hat. Why not? What am I going to wear when I do it, though? That's the problem. I guess I'll have to wear the baseball cap that Stumpy down there is holding on for me. Yeah, so the abrasives that they use, it's interesting to see that some are finer, some are sharper, and depending on what knives, you know, depending on your technique, it's something that the biggest argument we seem to have over and over and over again is how to sharpen the blades, how to strop them, whether or not to sharpen or whether or not to strop. John Overby says whenever you bring the subject up, everybody's got an opinion, because everybody has to do it. Everybody has to sharpen their blades, and we all gain ways where it works for us. And if you're sharpening and your knife is coming out sharp, then why knock it? If it works, great. There are multiple ways of my favorite saying, there are more than one way to defur a feline. As opposed to skin a cat is more than one ways. Yes, Sarah, you laminate pieces together because finding a tree big enough for a carousel creature is impossible. Look, I saw you with your little saw, and I thought, ooh, if you go along the grain instead of down through the grain, it will cut a lot easier. But yeah, look, yes, you've got to laminate when you're making the lion's head that you're making, and hollow, brilliant, reduces the weight. I'm really, really interested and really looking forward to watching you make the lion carousel creature. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. And because we see the quality of your first one, we know that you're going to do something absolutely bloody stunning. And I think that there's lots and lots and lots of people in the group that are just waiting and eager to see your next bit. You're showing so many people how to do. You're educating people of how it's done. Reading all of your books, seeing how it's done. Brilliant. Thank you for sharing it with us. I really appreciate it. And I know lots and lots of other people in the group. Okay, you've got black compound. I haven't seen black compound before, but I guess, look, you can even use paste, Autosol. There's chrome cleaners. There's other things that you can use. If your black compound works, great. You got a new saw now, a gas powered, still more power, great. That means that you will fly through a hell of a lot better. Yeah, I got that it was still. Did you get one of the small 12-inch, 10-inch blade? What are they called? The MR910 or something? They've got the little small brands that the arborists use when they're doing their little bit of shaping. Really, really, I looked at chainsaws for a while. Being an ex-power carver, I own 2 chainsaws. I've got an electric one and I've got a gas one. The electric one does me fine. The gas one plays up because it's bloody gas, and the tubes degrade, and my electric one does me a lot better than the gas one. But I did look at Steel Range, and I looked at their small artists chainsaw, and boy, did I want one. Shane Christensen, he got one from Steel, the small one, and they are just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So well done, and thank you for sharing it. Excuse me. Been working on this slowly. Oh, nearly breaking it. I actually did break it when I picked it up the other night. You'll see that on there is a little piece of where the glue is. I managed to snap that piece out by handling it, by not grabbing the solid piece. But oh, that way around. Slowly setting the depths. I was working on the body to push him back and try to get the distance on the arm. And I'm going to cheat. The blade was supposed to be a candle. The blade, I've already given it away. I'm going to do that as a carving knife as opposed to the candle because, well, I can't carve a candle with brightness. I'm enjoying it. It's slow work, but it's coming along. I'm happy with it. When the end of the yellow compound block gets black on it, should it be removed before rubbing it back on the strop? No. Like, I just, if your compound isn't working, if it's not coming off very well, heat it up a little bit. That will get the stuff off. But no, I mean, a little bit of black, you're going to get that on the strop anyway. All it is just little pieces of metal particles. And let's face it, we don't change the leather every time we use one. I don't. So I would say no, you don't need to remove that. No, I wouldn't. I'd just use it as is. It's basically a crayon. Yes, it's basically a crayon. Today I'm suffering a little bit because the tooth that I was having problems with the last week, or the last couple of weeks, I was on antibiotics which helped the tooth, but this end, I have I guess the infection is moving out to try and come out of my skin. So my face is incredibly sore. I know it's killing you. Oh, okay. It's unusual to see angry faces, Dale. Not something we often use in beginners woodcarvers. It's not something we see very often. Although saying that, on my pin post I have two. I've requested from the two people that I asked them why. One didn't answer, and the other one said, I didn't know that I did, but he hasn't clicked it to remove it. Not a problem. So the angry faces, no, you don't need to. Nice one, Josh. Hurry back, miss you already. He's probably getting a coffee, lucky bugger. I didn't make a coffee because I was too busy. Stuff happens, I suppose. Now, I have made a couple of inquiries with regards to t-shirts, and that is something. The t-shirts, yes, they're still in the wind. It's a little difficult trying to organise something in a different country. So I'm moving along with that, slowly progressing, but I'm not running with it. I'm walking slowly and carefully because international laws, trade and everything else. I mean, originally we're a group. Suddenly it becomes more by selling things, trying to get the right price, trying to get, at some point I am going to have to put on the feed. I'm going to have to ask how many people want t-shirts, and I'm going to need to get sizes so that when I put in an order for, I'll know how big the order needs to be, and I'll know what sizes to actually do. So I'll write that up sometime over this next week, and I'll keep you informed. I'll keep you posted. I'm not rushing because, well, if it's another couple of weeks, it's another couple of weeks. But we'll get hot compresses on your cheek. Thanks, Bonnie. Yeah, it was uncomfortable sleeping, but it's just I don't know, pus on the move. Yuck. It's the infection moving out. It's not toothache anymore. It's face ache. Ah, my face is aching. all right, that was a mistake. No worries. If you don't know, oh yeah, you've changed it. Good one. Good one. Look, usually it ends up being a mistake with the angry face, but I don't know. I do have to make a little confession. I removed a couple of people from the group, and I know I don't have to say anything, but I've constantly been constantly be honest with the group. Now, the atmosphere in the group was changing because there were certain people that wouldn't acknowledge the fact that we don't pull people's work to pieces in the group. What we do is we encourage people. We tell people what they've done right. Whiskey will work. I just, my face doesn't hurt. I'm drunk. Yeah, we won't do that for the moment. Yes, so okay. I requested from a member of the group that they not jump on new people's work, and by the poster, if somebody asks for directions, we will give them, we will help, we will assist, because the person has asked for assistance. But what we were getting was, there was a couple of people that had decided that they'd come into the group and there were 16,000 students, and that's not what we are. We're hobbyists, we're friends, we're family, we're trying to build a good feeling place. And I personally don't think that somebody saying you did this wrong, did this wrong, did this wrong. No, there's a positive way of suggesting information and teaching, sharing information, not anybody becoming, I don't know, above others. When we give suggestions, if we've got photographs of our own to show what it is that we're saying, then by putting up those photographs, we reinforce not the authority is the wrong word, we reinforce the influence that we know what we're talking about. We walk the walk. And because we walk the walk, we can then talk the talk. So if you've made a mistake and you've learned how to correct it, and you show somebody else how to correct the same problem, and you show them with your photographs, brilliant. But if somebody is there just saying you did this wrong and you should do this and you should do this and you should do this, that's not it changes the atmosphere of the group. Now, last week I was feeling incredibly oppressed by the group. I didn't want to be in it. I looked at it and I went, this isn't the way I want it to go. Who am I? I'm the guy with the rules. I'm the guy with the tools to be able to affect people in the group. Nobody can kick me out. I can kick everybody out. I don't like kicking people out. It's not my preferred position. But I did remove a couple of people that were over the top in how they were pulling new people's pieces to work. I created a roast. The roast was the wrong word, because it was what I felt that some people were doing. Last weekend there was a big write-up on Sunday, big rant about the rights of those couple of members to be able to tell you what you were doing wrong without you asking. I had issues with the without you asking part. This person was PMing people. He was sad that I had to remove him, but he was changing the atmosphere of the group, and then he got some offsiders that were agreeing with him, and that was making it me obsolete. Why would I run a group where other people other people do things in the way that I don't agree with? I think the group's positivity is what we build on. I don't agree with the old-fashioned way of teaching people where you've done this wrong, you have to do it this way. No, we learn. You make mistakes. The piece of wood is what teaches you where you went wrong. When you carve something and it doesn't work, well, then you recarve it and you go past that mistake. We all have mistakes. They are design. They are design changes. In the moment, even on this one, when I started doing this, this angle and the depth on this changed, and I had to modify while on the fly. While I was doing it, it no longer matched the picture. The rail here should have been further over here, but instead I went, okay, so it doesn't follow the picture anymore. I will just continue to do it and I'll adjust it. So that's exactly what I did. And I think that learning by doing is a much better way than being told what to do. Advised, yes, that's fine. The guy that was removed after he was asked not to do it repeatedly, exactly. There were multiple attempts by me to try to encourage him to do things a different way. He chose not to. So that was Bob Brown. I'm really sorry, but it didn't suit the group to have somebody that was, I don't know, thinking themselves as the teacher for everybody. It just wasn't. It's not how I run the group. It's not how it works. Cole, do you know where I can get Cottonwood bark from? If so, after the live, can you send me the link to get it? No, I actually, Cottonwood bark, I believe that somebody said that you can get it from Amazon. I'm sure members in the group can actually help you with that can get cottonwood. Being in Australia, it's one of the few that I can't get. Oh, my glasses are on. Wonky. I've got a wonky head. I can't get cottonwood bark, so I don't know. Yeah, all this Brett has seen has been expensive. Okay. I don't know. That's one I can't answer. I can do a search and I can give you some options, but expensive is what I hear. I wouldn't mind getting some cottonwood bark, small piece, like no bigger than that for my faces, but those lot, I've still got a few gaps. I wouldn't mind getting some for that, but I haven't been able to get some. I asked my wood dealer, could he get some, and he said, unfortunately, no, that's one of the things he can't get. So I don't know. Wow, you don't hear me say that very often. I don't know. I can look it up. Now, okay, we've had a couple of videos done by Tammy this week, which on spirals and how to actually do spirals and whether they be hollow or whether or not they're like her wand. The two videos she's done, really helpful, really great. We started off a hollow spiral challenge. That's in the units now. Thanks to Tammy doing the video. I really appreciate the efforts, and what a good looking button-up tree ornament you created with the hollow spiral. There's some variations on how the spiral will twirl if you reduce the distances. When you look at her video, where you see she's done 1/2 inch spacings, when you get lower you can reduce that to 1/4 of an inch spacings, and of course your spirals will get smaller and thinner. You can expand on that. There's all sorts of things. Love to see lots of spirals. It's something that it's something that complements Santa's very well for tree hangings. So Tammy was kind enough to make the hollow spiral video, and let's hope that will go spiral. A viral spiral, yeah, that would be good. But yes, that's our current challenge, is the spiral challenge, and I know that a lot of you have already done them, so if you want to upload them into the album, that'd be great. And if not, then we'll see them on the feed, I suppose. Having them in the albums are handy, because other people come along and they look and they go, ooh, there's 20 people that have done this, I'll give it a go. Encouragement by sharing. Spiral looks complicated, but it's very simple. Absolutely. It's a lot of what we do is, it looks complicated, but once you know how to do it, it's like the 5-minute owl. The first time anybody, new person, does the 5-minute owl, it probably takes an hour and a half. So to say a 5-minute owl, sometimes longer, because we're very cautious about the cuts that we do. Whereas once you know, you just do the cut that you need, and it's a very quick. You can actually, I've seen the 5-minute owl advertised as a 3-minute owl before now. So well done, Tammy. Really appreciate the efforts that you've put in as a moderator. Like, just outstanding. 11 videos, 12 videos. We're pretty close to that in like a couple of months. I mean, what a machine pumping out the videos of how to do things. So pleased with you, Tammy. Thank you so much for your efforts. Very, very appreciated. Not only by me, but of course by all of the people in the group that go, how do I make this? Oh, there's a video. Wonderful. Yeah, so the spiral challenge is the Hollow Spiral Challenge is now current. We've got the Beavercraft competition that ends in 8 days, so get your bits into that. Now Beavercraft, they've got a new competition of their own, and I've shared it in the group. Beautiful set of what's there? Sloyd knife, chip knife, a detailing knife, and a spoon knife that have all got stabilized, coloured maple burl handles, and they are really, really, really pretty. That requires you to join Woodworking Maniacs, another group, which is Beavercraft's group. To be in for the competition, you've got to have photographs of the Halloween themed things, so ghosts, witches, Draculas, vampires. If it's Halloween, if it's scary, they will accept that into their competition, and on midnight on the 31st of October, the winner will be announced. So that's something to look forward to, and it's a set of knives that are in a walnut box. The whole thing has been designed purely and utterly for the Halloween challenge that they are doing. That isn't to do with BWC, that's not, but everybody that's in the group has the right to be able to go in there and follow their guidelines, follow their rules, put up your post. You're laughing, and good luck with the strawberry question. Thank you, boss. I'm no boss. Late in the middle name. Hi, Cole, and everybody else. G'day, Fred. Late is my middle name. Oh, okay, I get you. We didn't notice that you were late, Fred. You made it. That's all that matters. Tammy, you're a good fabulous, and I want to try some of the stuff you've done. No, well done. I'm going to have to watch later. Buffering a lot on my end. Sorry to hear that, Steve. During the week, I bought a Drake knife. I'm showing you now. If you're already a carver, I wouldn't suggest necessarily a Drake for a brand new one. I would say Beavercraft or FlexCut to begin with. But once you actually know what you're doing with a knife, this one is just it's the bee's knees. I am so happy that Drake dropped their shipping prices to be able to make it affordable for me to be able to buy this, and I'm sold. I love this knife. My now favorite go-to knife happens to be a Drake. This is part of the reason why I wanted to review knives, because I know that it's only my opinion, but being able to share with you, this is a good knife. This is worth the $30 versus, well, $17 for a FlexCut or $30 for a Drake, $40 for a Helvey. The different prices of knives. If you're skilled, once you become skilled, or once you become knife conscious, so you know good knife techniques, safe carving techniques, then anyone that's been using a FlexCut for a few months that picked up a Drake would go, oh my God, the shape is just perfect to be able to hold it, to be able to do fine, intricate detail work, and it's also good to grip. Bloody lovely. My Helvey was my go-to, now the Drake is. So I flow like water from one example to the other. The Beavercuts are brilliant. Beavercrafts are brilliant. If I want to do spoons or bowls, having the spoon knives. I will at some point have to do, there's 2 more sets of knives, or two more brands of knife that I need to try. I hear people talking about knives a lot. I read up. The Mora knife is one that I need to try, and OCCT is the other one. John Overby uses the OCCT, and it looks like a bloody good knife. Then it comes down to preferences, I guess. Yeah. So yes, where are we? Okay. Yes, it's a very nice, it's a useful knife. I was able to get into my relief carving, which I was struggling with to get into the background to do the bookcases because the wood gets in the way. And the Drake knife, because of the shape, allows me to get in a lot closer without fouling on other materials. So right timing, I think. And the fact that it only took 9 days to get from the States from here, from my initial order, wow, I'm stunned. Thank you, Bonnie and Gil Drake, for making such nice tools. So yes, we've got the spiral, we've got the Beavercraft challenge, the competition, we've got that. We no longer have a resident know-it-all. What else was there? I've discovered that when the dates of daylight savings kick in, and October is ours, and then November is yours. So the live on a Saturday will go from 10:30 in the morning to 11:30. It'll still be 9 o'clock in New York, and then it goes to 12:30, which means I have plenty of time. I'm surprised I haven't been harassed by the dog because I haven't walked her yet, and she would be bunged up from the night of waiting. Just a busy morning. So yes, it's been I've been watching the feed this week and seeing the different carvings that are popping up. There's always Santas. I understand why. Like the Santas start about now because there's plenty of craft fairs and shows where people sell them. So start early, get in there. You're looking at, I guess, the beginning of your fall. Our spring is here. We're no longer freezing quite as bad, like me sitting here without the rest of the gear on. I always tend to wear this shirt when I'm online. It's got to do with the fact that it matches the hat, and it's very Aussie, and it's cold. That's the other thing. Okay, what have we got? When you did all those different woods, did you carve cherry? Yes, I did carve cherry. American cherry. Oh, let's have a look. I've got some Australian cherry kicking around as well, but American cherry. I found it certainly harder than basswood to carve. This wasn't actually that bad. It was quite a nice carving. Yeah, I quite like cherry. It is, some of the woods are hard, but if you work on a hard piece of wood and then you come back to basswood, it's like your skill level jumps by a light year. So it's always good to work on sometimes really hard work. Oh, I got an OCCT blade only this week. It was like $13. We'll show a photo. Cool. Thanks, Sue. I saw your rosewood handled knife. How's that working out for you? Beautiful looking knife, absolutely stunning. So much so that I'm going to be doing my blade cover for my Drake. I was lucky. I managed to pick up a piece that was an unusual shape that was in the scraps bin. As you can see, it's like it's had a big chunk formed on it, and they threw that in the scrap bin, and it was 50 cents. Nice bit of purple heart, not rosewood, sorry, purple heart. So I thought, you know what, that's almost ideal shape for my blade cover. So I changed magnets. I used to use that size magnet so that I could hang them on the outside. At the moment, that's just holding the bigger 12mm, 1/2 inch by 1/8 of an inch magnet in, which has got a lot more strength to hold the blades in. So I'm going to be happy when I shape that up as my blade cover. Whoops. Oh, look at that. it has stuck to my boot. It tells you I've got steel caps on. That way I don't have knives drop on my toes. $13, that's bloody good price. Does it hold good detail? The OCT is Canary. Okay. I haven't tried them yet, but I'm watching John Overby use them. It's like, I need to try that. It's a bugger being so far away from access to simply getting these things. I have to plan for them, especially as shipping seems to be all over the place. Yes, cherry, once it ages, gets real hard and turn almost black in colour. Yes. Look, fruitwoods, if you get them and they have a high moisture content, they will carve relatively easy. When they have very low moisture content, then it's hard work. That's when you often have to use slightly bigger scale tools, mallets, that sort of thing, power tools. I haven't done much power tooling because I went over to knives and gouges and being able to sit in here and carve, which I enjoy. But I must admit, there's now that the weather's warming up, and I will be doing a few videos that will be utilizing the power tools that I've got, because the traditional side of making things, I like making things by hand. I do like using the gouges and the knives, but when it comes to getting the big things shaped, I must admit I like the fact that if, like Sarah doing her lion carousel and horse carousel, using the tool that you need to simplify your carving, why not? If you have them, use them. I do know that there's the big argument, and it's been going on for the last over 100 years, about using the technology of today. I think CNCs is pushing it. Well, there's a skill in that as well, because you have to be able to program the computer to do what you want. So a CNC product, the first one is wow. But then the fact that they can spit thousands out afterwards, that's where it kind of goes less into the art and more into the production line. We don't actually have many CNC people in here. Not the milling machines. It's not something we promote. It's not something that you or I have access to. So it's kind of specialized, which is the way that the world's going, of course, because programming and computers and 3D printers and stuff. What we're doing with wood carving is a bit of dying art. It's time. Okay, Pete. Time is moving on, and we're getting more used to instant gratification. Computers can spit things out instantly, whereas the joy of actually sitting and carving, and the bliss, the rapture that you end up in, like a little bit more here, a little bit more there, and creating. I think creativity is one of the best things that human beings can invest their time in, because look what we create. Look what we recreate, look what we reform. Brilliant stuff. I'm always impressed on the feed at just how good and how clever people are at carving. I sit here amazed sometimes. I plan on doing a stain sample of my curly willow. Sometimes they come out so dark for even a light stain. True. Hey Jen Lee, no worries about being late. It'll be here for you wherever you want, whenever you want it. Recently used a Sabertooth bit my Dremel and loved it. Oh, Sabertooth. If you want rapid wood removal, Sabertooth, Kurzul, or Fordham does them as well. They've got some flame burrs. Brilliant tools for your Dremel. And they also do the next size up, where it's a 1/4 inch, and then they go in, what do they call them, die grinders, for larger scale. Like Sabertooth, before I started buying knives and gouges, Sabertooth were one of my favorite companies, and I have, I don't know, 6 or 7 of their different types of burrs. Some are 1/4 inch, some are 1/8, some for the Dremel, some for the die grinder. I use them a lot. When I did the mob, the heads that are just poking up over here, when I did those, the 16 heads, I used the saber tooth as well as chisels, hammers, heavier tools. It was a good carve. I enjoyed doing the 16 heads. I think it took me 7 weeks. So I didn't do anything other than those heads, 16 heads for 7 weeks. So well, it's not too bad. 2 heads a week. Didn't quite work out like that because I worked on them as a block, but it was good fun. The thing I really love about the group, what we do, say some are expensive. Yes, they are expensive. I think that they're comparable, actually price-wise, for me, they're comparable. They cost about the same as a file, chisel or a gouge. They're 40 to 50 bucks for me, for Australian dollars. But then the files, the chisels and the gouges I bought are around about the same price. So it's a rotating burr. It's a rotating gouge, if you like. That's what it does as its feature. Yeah, I know you meant saber tooth. Save the tooth. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yes, using whichever tool that's needed to get the job done. When I did my relief carving, to get to the book's depth, this part here, I did use a router because that set me the depth, and then I needed to go yay deeper than the router would go, so I still had to do some of that by hand, but I did remove quite a bit of material with the power tool to get there. So and then of course it's all detailing work, and you lose any of the marks of the router. I found that easier, quicker. Once I'd removed the material, it was difficult because I could only go in there once. Once I set different depths, that was it. I couldn't use the router anymore, and I had to do it by hand. Absolutely loving doing that. That's the fact that it was originally my design. I painted it, now I'm carving it. It's just that's filling a really nice place in my heart, and sharing it with you guys. I've put up the odd picture of where I'm at, but I have taken photographs of stages, so I'll be able to do a slideshow of how it was done. That'll come when I finish. Normally, this time last year, I would have shown you I've got this far, I've got this far, I've got this far, but patience is much better that I do it all in one hit. So there's one video, and then that way you watch from start to finish, and that's it. So it reduces weeks of work into a few minutes. But that's good. I look forward to doing that. Okay. Did you get your saber tooth taken out? No. I've got infection in there. They wouldn't take it out if I wanted to. It's just I've got to go and get more antibiotics on Monday. But yay, I saved the tooth for now. We get pulled out sometime this week or next week. I'll be sitting like that, big tooth taken out. And you see, the camera's fixed. There's no panning in and panning out. It's just been stable the whole time. Boy, did I have to dig deep into the camera settings to find out how to do that. I thought it was funny last week with my daughter and it going backwards and forwards and then looking at that all the time. It's just silly. But that's what happens. Okay, so we got the spiral hollow challenge on, the hollow spiral. This week I should know more about the t-shirts. I should know enough to be able to put up a who wants one and get your sizes and stuff, and then I can put in an order for the t-shirts. I can let you know how much they're going to be. That's one of the difficulties, because trying to find out whether or not the shipping is a constant price or a variable price. Some do, they balance it out, and others don't. So it's a matter of searching, I suppose. So you get your site. Oh, it's got a scroll. You did good. No seasickness tonight. No, Cam's fixed and now no Blaze. Yeah, she's still asleep. I know. It's 11:25 on a Saturday morning, and my daughter is sleeping. Not here to tell us about copyright, not here to tell us about rules, not here to assist me like she suggested she would. She said last night there's an album now that has BWC resources, drawings. She did a skull where she shows that comes out, how that comes out of a block of wood, or the design for it to come out of a piece of wood, not the actual doing. Jerry Joe's dolphin, the feather, these things are being put into. She was going to ask if anybody would like to put on the feed what sort of books. Oh, Brian made it. Happy day to you. Brian went in for surgery again today and he's made it. Hopefully that's all good. Obviously you're here, so you survived it. Poor bugger. Surgery sucks. Rehab afterwards, the convalescing period is just so sad, so painful. I'm sorry to hear that you're going through pain, Brian. It's not very nice. Oh look, yeah. Look, Blaze has got quite a lot of good ideas, and she certainly is stepping up and assisting me. She's actually writing all the rules up and stuff because she's got a much better handle on both English and what she needs to do. Cole, you're great. You do a good job, and I'm sure do like being part of this group. Sure, I've learned a lot from everyone. Corey, that is excellent news. We're really happy to have you here, Corey, and you are a good example of somebody who has grown in their carvings. I mean, I watched when you first started putting things up and asking questions as to now. Like, well, I couldn't be happier to have people like you. I really appreciate you asking us all the time how to do this and how to do that. I mean, we've got the Corey question time, and I love it. I enjoy being in the group. I may have been a little bit quiet, but I'm still here. I've been watching and adding to people's comments and loving. I mean, you all notice that I really like things. It's always love, because I do. I love it. I love the group. I love being able to interact with people with the same hobbies, with the same designs, but thinking outside of the circle. We're all so different, and we apply ourselves in different ways, and sharing that, just wow, we all grow. It's brilliant and beautiful, and I wouldn't be in any other group like this. I am in lots of groups. Well, my name is. I rarely get out of Beginners Wood Carvers. I tend to stay here all the time. I watch what people do. I assist where I can. I've helped Tammy with a few edits to her videos so that they're nicely presented. She's bloody good at doing them, so I'm not going to knock anything that she's done, because wow, what a machine. 11 videos and the 12th one on its way in a couple of months. It just shows that people can expand their abilities because of the social connection that we have. I carve a lot of the time. One of my motivations behind this is for you, is so that I can go, hey, look, this is what I've learned while I've been in the group. This is what I've learned from you guys. Now, seeing Randall Stoner's the Mad Carvers carvings has inspired me to do this. He would probably be one of the main reasons I went so deep into a 3-inch piece of wood instead of doing a minor light relief. It's just contagious. It's wonderful. I wouldn't be anywhere else. But we're on the 59-minute mark. I've done this for an hour. I've waffled. I had no subject material. We have just interacted as like a family, and you are my family. It's how I feel. I don't. I look in some of the other groups occasionally, and all I see is no connectivity. I see people going, oh, I'll put this up and show and tell. In this group, we get into the nitty-gritty. We get close knit. We make friends, and then beyond that, we become somewhat bonded and crazy. From a couple of pieces of basswood and a knife, we get tight like a family. And man, you mean so much to me. All of you, every one of you means the world to me, because you inspire me to put in hour after hour after hour on the feed, talking to you, interacting with you, assisting when that's needed, finding things for you. I just absolutely adore this group. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Bill, you made it, yay! You know what you mean, Carl? Feel the same way. But this is it. I mean, this is more than a group. It's a family, and I love you. I love your work. I love the way you think. I love the way that you interact with other people. Keep it up. Get your pictures on the feed, because there still is, I forgot to mention, the t-shirt competition that's running through September, that somebody that puts up a post on the feed in September is going to win one of the only t-shirts out that are made at this point. There's 3 t-shirts. I've worn one. I've got this one sitting here. I'll just give you one more quick look. This is not going to be the end design of the t-shirt. This is this stage. Now Pete has done the new logo, and it's got green in here, and so the newer t-shirts will have a slightly different version of this, but there are only 3 of these. One is going to be given away on the 30th of September to one of our members. That is coming. There we go. Let's hang that one up there. That will be purely and utterly because you've put a picture up on the feed this month of your carvings. So I look forward to seeing you all over the week. I will see you on the feed. I do always. Safe and happy carvings. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for being here. Thanks. I can't say it enough. Well done, you guys. The lives get a little bit crazy when there's little subject material, but over the weeks we sort of cover. We did one on finishes, we did one on gouges, we did one on knives. We're constantly keeping that information available to you, and part of that is done by this. At least this way we feel connected, because you know that who is in the background doing what is needed to have a brilliant group. Now I want you all to have an absolutely wonderful week. I don't want to see any injuries. I don't want to hear about people injuring themselves. If you've got a glove, put it on. If you don't have one, think about getting one. Pat Benatar's glove is a battlefield. I was thinking about that the other day. It should be the theme tune whenever I talk about gloves. But you have a bloody good week. Have a bloody good Saturday night. Thank you for coming and being here for the Friday Night Live, and I will see you next week. Be good. See you on the feed.